After many years, we decided we was going to get adjustable frame beds. And the problem is, you take the adjustable frame bed and you put a 12 or so inch leg under it, and then you have a 10-inch mattress. Can't reach the floor. So we're going to take these apart and use the pipe cutter and cut these legs down. They're just hollow tubes and with a plastic cap on there. So we'll just pop the plastic cap off there, cut a few inches off, and make sure that, of course, the motor units here are still at their lowest point, don't touch the floor. But you can cut quite a bit off of here and make this a lot more comfortable to use. Overall, we've been real happy with the adjustable frames, but this the height is a problem. Okay, we'll check this out. So that's my point, is that the feet don't even come close to touching the floor. And even with myself, I'm 5'11", and even my feet don't touch the floor when I'm sitting on the edge. I'd like to be able to get up out of bed without having to slip off the edge till my feet hit the floor. Anyway, so that's the plan. We're going to cut those down. So I've had these for about 5 months now. Been real happy with them. So I've got them stripped off because we're going to work on those bases, the legs. You can see the motors with the little white tags on there. So we'll put it through its motions to make sure that it doesn't get any closer to the floor. And I didn't think that the motor could because the way it's mounted. Yeah, so it's actually getting slightly further away from the floor. So that's not a problem. And I think the head one does essentially the same thing. Because they're mounted, the pivot point for the motor is mounted on the stationary part that's kind of in the middle of the bed. So yeah, they really can't go any lower. So if we leave an inch or so clearance or more, then there won't be a problem. And we're not going to cut that much off. That's a long ways. And then when we're finished, we're going to put a skirt around this whole thing, probably a fabric skirt, just to keep dust from going underneath. You can use the space underneath for some storage of thin, flat items. So I have the first frame flipped upside down, and the legs just unscrew, and we'll cut the same amount off of the bottom of each one of them, and then put them back in. So just unscrew that, and then pop the cap off, and we'll be cutting about this much off of each one. Okay, so with this cheap pipe cutter, because I didn't want to spend a lot for this, and it was a replacement for an even older one. Anyway, I measured down 5.5 inches, put a little mark, put that wheel carefully onto it, and then you just turn it, tighten it up a little bit, turn it some more, and eventually it cuts right through there, and we have two pieces. And the part that screws into the bed is 5.5 inches shorter. Of course, you could use a hacksaw, but then it's more difficult to keep it straight for me. If you have a metal bandsaw, that would probably make it really easy. And it does squish it in a little bit, but that should not be a problem with the little plastic feet. And worst case is, for me, I print new little plastic feet. I'm not really worried about it. I don't think this wheel is as sharp as the one I had on my old one. So it's squishing in a lot more. It's a very thin wall tubing, so it will tend to do that, I think. You know, if you put it in a vise, it would be easier too, instead of holding it up in the air. Okay, so that is the new little foot, 5.5 inches shorter than it was. So we'll do that to all 6 of them on each frame, and then reinstall it. Got all the legs shortened and back on there. So it took this much off of each one. So 5.5 inches, and that leaves them about 6.5 inches. And you could even go shorter, because the motor area, there's plenty of room still. It could go at least 2 inches shorter than that if you wanted to. But that's what we've got right now. Now we'll flip it over and we'll get the other one done. Okay, so here's the difference 5.5 inches makes. A little bit above the floor for the feeties versus can touch the floor. Now we'll do the other one. So we've got it all 5.5 inches lower now. It's looking real good. Yeah, I'm real happy with that so far. Got the headboard back up there, which is just a piece hung on the wall, padded piece of material that we liked. It's looking real good. Then we're looking at taking these little side pieces and get those mounted on the wall so we can get the little cases mounted back to them. And we'll show that in a bit. That's finished for now. Got a little bit more to do later. Still want to mount the side little drawer stands to the wall. Get them up off there. But other than that, that's it for now. And we still haven't tied them together, and that's one thing people do a lot. And our plan was just to take a board that goes full width all the way across, drill 4 holes, and then when you slip it on there, they can't move anymore. But we haven't had any real problem with them scooting apart very much, so I'm not sure about that. We'll check that out.